As you've probably discovered by now, homeschooling is more than just a commitment for a few hours a day. It's a lifestyle. There are so many benefits and responsibilities associated with it that it can take a little while to find a rhythm. After homeschooling our 4 kids for 7 years now, our family has found a great groove. And I think a lot of it has to do with the habits that we've put into place. So today I want to share with you 5 non-negotiables that our family includes in our homeschool day to help keep things running smoothly. Let's get started. Number 1, do as much the night before as you can. Here's what I mean by that. For our family, I actually tend to work in the morning. I work very early in the morning, and then am finished with my work by the time we start school at about 8:30 in the mornings. So I prepare all of our kids' breakfast the night before. I leave oatmeals prepared with milk, overnight oats, if you will, in the fridge. And our kids now know that they can pop that oatmeal into the microwave in their little bowl, for 30 seconds, and then they sit down at their seat where there's a pile of books waiting for them. They know that they need to start with their math work, and that's it. That's the start to their day. It's very low drama. They can roll out of bed. What's the saying? Yesterday's pajamas are not today's problem. We go by that in our homeschool. So we don't mind if they stay in their pajamas. If they'd like to change, that's great. But eventually they're going to change because we have other activities in the day they need to be dressed for. So for us, that's where we start. Of course, that leads into brushing teeth, making beds, and other hygienic habits. However, we start out very low drama, low stress, and get started on math. My husband is there working with them on math. And so it's a very natural, easy thing where we're all moving around the kitchen. They're all seated at the breakfast bar working on their math. Nothing fancy, just work getting done. Number 2 is to wake up before your kids. For a lot of people, this is going to be difficult because their kids roll out of bed very early. For me, I'm the early riser in our family, and so it's an easy, more natural thing for me. However, it definitely helps me get my mind ready for the day, even on days when I'm not working early in the morning. It helps me to get my needs met in the terms of that I want to spend time reading the Bible and praying in the mornings, but I also want to get in a workout. If I leave that workout or that Bible reading time until later in the day, there's kind of something irking me throughout the day, and I know I'm not going to be the mom that I want to be if I don't get those needs met in the morning. So that's something that I need to take steps to do, and for me, waking up early is the way to do it. I would add that something that goes along with this is teamwork. So your spouse, your partner, make sure that they also are feeling seen and known along the day. We all have our own schedules. Perhaps they're working in or outside the home. Make sure that you guys are all on the same page. This might include shared calendars, making sure everybody is aware of certain meetings, maybe things that are out of the norm, making sure that there's communication there. I would also add, thank you. Saying thank you, even for the smallest things. Hey, thanks for washing that dish. Hey, thanks for cleaning up that dirty diaper that I didn't quite get to, that sort of thing. These are the little things that are not seen by anybody else. And for those in our home, it's really helpful to just make sure that they are thanked and seen for doing the tasks that are kind of unseen, but also necessary. Number 3 are expectations. What is expected during the day? So during a regular school day, our kids know the things that are expected of them and the general order of what they can do their work in. For example, some of the games, learning games that our kids play on the computer are not to be done before they get all their writing and their book work done. Just things that keep the day moving smoothly. That is really important to have those expectations set out beforehand. For younger kids, it can be helpful to have a visual schedule so they can literally check off with a dry erase marker or maybe a sticker or a Velcro kind of piece in order to help them move through their day. Another thing is kind of giving your schedule a twist. For our family, we do 4 days of regular school, Monday to Thursday, and then Friday is Fun Friday, where they do 1 page of math instead of 2, as well as 1 of their writing assignments instead of 2, and then we go do something fun. So this could be going to the library, this could be meeting up with friends or going on a little day trip, that sort of thing. So having that sort of expectation so that there's not this constant whining and kind of asking for time off when the expectation is that you're going to get your work done. It's also helpful to inject a little bit of empathy here. I know I'm a public school kid, product of public schools, my husband is as well. And so having the excitement of a day off or something different is really important. For our family, that means birthdays. anybody's birthday, my birthday, my husband's birthday, my kids' birthdays. Nobody does any schoolwork. We do something fun. Also for holidays, if it's a public holiday where we live, great. We're taking that day off too. So there doesn't need to be this kind of drill sergeant mentality. A little bit of empathy there is really important too. But also the expectation that when it is a school day, we're going to work. So we were talking about expectations. Let's talk about consequences. What happens when the expectations are not met? This is going to be something your family needs to decide on your own. I'll let you know what our family does. You take that with a grain of salt and apply it to your case. But for our family, we've learned what is important to each of our kids, and we've seen what motivates them. So we're going to use that in order to make sure that they get done what they need to get done. For example, if some writing or some school assignment doesn't get done, or there's some dishonesty there, there's a consequence. Something gets taken away, a screen, access to audiobooks, a movie on the weekend. We watch movies on the weekend. We don't watch TV during the week. And so there's that kind of reward there. We found what works for each kid. I think that's something important to take into account, that each kid can have their own set of consequences, and even letting them name those consequences can be very helpful for them. Number 5 is bonuses. About consequences, we talked about expectations. Hopefully there's not a ton of time spent on those consequences. When the expectations are met, it can be really fun to inject some bonuses, some fun stuff for our kids. In our case, our oldest kids have found my cookbooks with beautiful photos in them. They say, I want to make that. Great. Because you've met our expectations, because you've done what you need to, I have time to sit down and teach you how to do this. And just have some extra free time to play and enjoy our days. This doesn't have to be a slog for everyone. So, what do you think? What other habits would you add to this list? Did I miss anything? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you have any questions about what our family does, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments. If nobody's told you yet today, thanks for doing what you're doing. It's important. Happy teaching.